Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pits of Motor Chaos. This is your host, Dave. I got online special guest, Nitro funny car driver, Robert Schwab. How you doing, Robert?
I'm doing good, thank you. I just need to clarify, I'm not driving this weekend. Phil Burkhart's driving my car this weekend in Vegas.
Phil Burkhart?
Yep.
And
But I own the car, and it's going to be a pretty exciting weekend.
so you're out there now, right?
We are. We spent the day setting up, and the weather's beautiful. It's not windy, and it's not raining like Pomona and Phoenix were.
So why aren't you driving, Robert?
You know, the hardest part about these cars is tuning them. Driving them is actually pretty easy. But I can get someone to drive the car. It's very hard to get somebody to tune the car. So tuning the car is more challenging. So right now, I'm tuning the car, and I've got Phil in there to drive it. He does an awesome job. Right. Takes a lot of pressure off of him, to be honest with you. And tuning is so challenging, which makes it extremely rewarding also.
Yeah, well, I wish you the best of luck this weekend.
Thank you. We need it. We're due, you know. It kind of threw me a curveball. Pomona and Phoenix, it was so cold. I've never ran a car in such good air conditions, and I struggled a bit with the tuning of it. It was making more power than I'm used to, and this weekend's going to be hot. We're at higher altitude, so hopefully it'll calm down a bit. We're pretty excited about it.
So, Robert, let me ask you this question. How did you get involved in drag racing to begin with?
Oh, Mike, to be honest with you, I was like a 15-year-old kid, and like all the other local lads, we were hanging around with cars and working on cars, and ended up going out the local racetrack and, I don't know, sneaking in or jumping the fence or whatever we did, and hang out at the track watching, and then that was back in Adelaide, Australia. And then, you know, I guess the big part of it, when I was about 22 years old, I really needed some direction in life. I needed something to hang on to. And the most challenging thing I could think of to do in life was to try and race a Nitro funny car. So I decided one morning that that's what I'm going to do. And to do that properly meant to do it in America. So the next step was to catch a plane, and I arrived in LAX with about $300 in my pocket and nothing but a passion to race a Nitro funny car. And that was 30 years ago, and here I am doing it.
So when you started drag racing, the first thing you started drag racing was a Nitro funny car?
Oh, no, not at all. I had a six-cylinder. There's a motor in Australia called a Holden six-cylinder, like a 186 is the cubic inches. And my first car was a 186 six-cylinder Holden with a manual gearbox and a pedal clutch, and I think it ran like 11. Like, this is a long time ago. I was actually about 16, 17 when I was doing that.
That was in Australia, right?
Sorry, go ahead.
That was out in Australia?
It was, in Adelaide, yep. Long time ago. But, you know, it was pretty obvious then that drag racing has such a great community of people, and it's a good, clean, fun environment. Pretty special deal.
So how many years did you drive that first car you drove in?
The first car, the white car, I don't even think it lasted a year. The story with the first car was it was a car that was originally built in 1964. And by the time I bought it, it was very out of date. It was actually made out of 2-inch water pipes, so it was a front engine dragster, but it was extremely heavy. And we raced that car for over, a couple of races actually. I don't think it would certify was the problem. And then we loved it so much, we built a new car that was a lot lighter, and we raced that car for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years. I got a job after a couple of years. I got a job driving working on Jeff Pratt's top fuel funny car, and at the time there was only 3 top fuel funny cars in Australia, and that was my introduction to Nitro, and that was the beginning of the end.
So what was your experience like driving a Nitro funny car for the first time, Robert?
You know, it's a funny thing. In all my driving Nitro funny cars, you really don't have time to appreciate the forces that are acting on your body. In all my runs I've done, there's only been 1 or 2 runs that I've felt the pressure on your spine. Like I've been going down the track and I thought, holy crap, there's a lot of pressure pushing on my spine. Because these cars make like, I don't know, 3.5, 4 Gs. Some of the heavy hitters are making like 4.5, 5 Gs, which is a lot of pressure pushing on your spine. But you're so busy driving the car, you really don't get to feel that or appreciate it normally because you're so busy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So one time I felt that pressure on my spine, and another time I remember, and usually at match races, because at match races you're a lot more relaxed and you're enjoying the ride. I remember going through the finish line and the chutes are out, and I looked at the guardrail and I was like, holy crap, I'm going fast. But normally you don't get to really feel those sensations. It's pretty unique to feel the sensations of how fast you're really going. You're too busy driving the car. You know, a lot of shit happens in those 4 seconds.
Yeah. So do you still live in Australia, or you live in the U.S. now?
No, we live in Utah. We moved to Utah in '97. They built a brand new racetrack up there, Rocky Mountain Raceway, and we got an opportunity to go there and base our team there. So that's what we did, and we've been there ever since. The team's based in Grantsville, Utah, actually, a little town that's out towards the Bonneville Salt Lake.
So I see now, right now in Australia, they got a nice outlaw funny car group out there.
They do. Graham Cowan's more affectionately known as GC. It's a great friend of mine and a great guy, and the outlaw class that he started down there is fantastic. It is absolutely perfect for Australians and for Australia. I love what he's doing. I actually thought about going racing in that class when I'd been out of the sport for about 10 years, and when I was looking at getting back into it, it was either go race with GC or go nostalgia racing in America or go pro racing in America. And I actually went to the first race that Graham ran with his outlaw funny cars in Sydney. I went there and helped out, which gave me the bug again and got me started. And fantastic class. They run a 34-gallon pump, so they don't beat up engines. They have good header flames. They're exciting, very reliable cars, and put on a fantastic show. Best thing that could happen to drag racing in Australia.
Yeah, I did an interview with 3 of the drivers from the Outlaws.
Who'd you talk to?
I talked to Anthony Begley and his daughter Emma.
I know Beggs, yep. Beggs a good guy.
And I talked to Ronald Atherwood.
Ron Atherwood, yep.
Yeah.
Good people. They're having a good time. That's a fun thing, man. I don't know if they get. I know it gets some television. I'm not sure how much of it is shown in America, but that is a fun class. Yeah, it's a good deal. You know, who else you want to get an interview is Josh Leahy. Josh Leahy drives the Bandit down there. And the Bandit is obviously a Bandit. It's a Trans Am, black Trans Am, and it is the coolest looking funny car from, you know, of that whole group. And, yeah, I love it. I love it doing down there.
Now, do you know Baz Young?
Who's that?
Do you know Baz Young? He drives it down.
I do, actually.
Down on the Thunder.
Nostalgia car up here. I do, yep.
Yeah, he's.
That race I just talked about, where I was at the first running of GC's Outlaw Funny Cars in Australia. Baz was there at that race as well.
Yeah, I was telling Ronald, Baz he's gonna move back to Australia, so maybe he'll join up with the Outlaw group out there.
Mate, I'm sure if he moved back there, that's what he would do, because I think he was down there looking at the class the same as I was.
Yeah, because
I think there's an opportunity to run that sort of class in America, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because he is bringing his funny car with him when he moves back to Australia.
He hasn't moved back there now, has he?
Not yet, but he's going to pretty soon. He needs to move back there due to some kind of personal thing he has to take care of or whatever.
Yeah, right. I didn't know that.
But he'll be coming back to the United States from time to time with the company he works for out here. So. Yeah, so.
He works for Snap-on Tools, doesn't he?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Yeah, he's like the corporate international manager or something like that.
Yeah, so he said he'll be coming back from time to time for the Snap-on job. So now, for you, how many events are you looking to run this year with the NHRA?
This is the last event for us for the year. We've done 3. We do these first 3. To be totally honest with you, my goal was to come to Vegas with a race car. I wanted to come here and be somewhat competitive. I can't compete with the Colettas and the Schumachers, but I wanted to come here with a car that, I don't know, at least stand on our own 2 feet but you can't do that with just one race. So we did Pomona and we did Phoenix, sort of testing, but just getting the bugs out of the crew, getting the bugs out of the driver, getting the bugs out of the car. So everything was ready for Vegas, and this is our grand finale. We just don't have the funding to do the full tour. This is our deal. So there's 17 cars here. Tomorrow we've got to be competitive, we've got to run good the first run. So we need to, like, out of the box, we need like an open pass. Nothing stupid happening tomorrow. And then tune it up from there. But, you know, it all sounds real easy just to send these cars to get them to go down the track. And, you know, the Schumachers and the Colettas and the Forces that do, you know, 200 runs a year, they have it so well dialed in. But being a one-off team without that sort of data, you know, acquisition group, it's a whole different ballgame for a little team like us. But, you know, it's still fun. It's fun, it's very challenging, and we'll play their game.
So your big sponsor is your pocketbook.
It is, man. And that's not a bad thing, you know. We've got no one to answer for. We are my team of guys are a bunch of we're all volunteers. We're just out there having fun, and it is fun. And on Sunday, if we can put on a respectable hit, and you know, I'm sure I know it's a whole lot more rewarding for us to qualify for one of these races than it is for these big teams where they're expected to qualify. So we get our rewards. You know, we're not a $4 million a year team. We're more like a $50,000 or $100,000 a year team. But it's still fun. It may be more fun at sometimes, you know?
Yeah. So, have you ever done any nostalgia of funny car racing at all?
I haven't, you know, and I actually looked at that when I was coming back to America to go racing again. I looked at the opportunities and the options, and one of the options was to go nostalgia funny car racing. And to be honest with you, the numbers didn't add up. There's no chance of getting any return, and they're pushing because of the small pumps. They push the cars to the max, and you know they're putting sleeves in the thing and putting pistons in the thing every run because they're so lean, because they've got such a small fuel system. I can run this car a lot safer than what they can run their cars. And NHRA pays us, you know, like qualifying money, and a lot better qualifying money than nostalgia cars make. So, and I like the challenge of the big show. The big show is a challenge. The nostalgia thing, I'm not sure, or even the outlaw thing. I think I probably would have been a bit bored within a few years with the nostalgia thing or with the outlaw thing. This is a pretty fun deal running with these big guys.
Now, you said you used to drive a dragster before, right?
No, I never. Oh, that was a long time ago. That was a front engine dragster, but I've been driving funny cars since 93. 93, I started driving funny cars in America.
Okay, the front
funny cars are where it's at, man. Funny cars rock.
So
absolutely rock.
So the front engine dragster, you were a crew member for the dragster, or you drove it?
No, I drove it. I drove that. But that's a long time. That's 30 years ago. That's more than like 35 years ago.
That was Nitro?
No, that was an alcohol car. That was like an 11-second car. That was a long time ago, man.
Yeah. So you drove all-car dragsters, funny cars, and pretty much. Would you ever drive a Pro Mod?
You know, I've never driven door cars. I've seen people drive them, and I honestly don't know anything about them. But Leah drove one and did very well, and that thing that Johnny Lindbergh drives. I honestly don't know much about Pro Mods. I know the crowd loves them, and people that are into door cars love them. Just not something I'm into. I wouldn't have any qualms with it. It's just not something I'm into.
Right. So back 30 years ago, what drag racers inspired you back 30 years ago?
Graham Cowan taught me how to dial in a cam, and in 1988, Graham Cowan, he was racing in America with the Aussie Raider, and at I think it was 87 World Finals, he went to the final round and got beat by Kenny Bernstein, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the world for a guy from Australia, Graham Cowan, to come to America and race and go to the finals of the World Finals was pretty special. So Graham Cowan was my biggest inspiration that inspired me to come to America. After that was Dale Armstrong. Dale Armstrong was absolutely a god in my eyes, and I always respected and still respected everything he did and his mentalities.
A lot of the Australian racers, one of their biggest inspirations, Gary Densham.
Yeah, Gary Densham run. I watched Gary Densham run, but he wasn't someone that just wasn't for me. Hey, Gary Densham's a great guy. I actually was talking to him yesterday. My wife and I were talking to him as we were waiting to park our rigs, and he's a very special gentleman, an awesome guy, and he didn't do as much for me as what Graham Cowan did. Graham Cowan was doing it as an Australian was pretty special.
All right. So now for the Schwab funny car, how many crew members do you have for the funny car?
I've got about 12, and they're all like standing around wanting to go to dinner right now.
Yeah, they're all hungry, huh?
Pardon?
They're all hungry.
They are. It's they all drove down here today. All the crew drove down this morning from Salt Lake City, and we worked all day putting the car together. And now it's time to go and have some dinner. And we're going to be out early. We're going to meet at the track at 6 in the morning. Get this thing fired up and ready to go first round. First round's at 1 o'clock.
All right, let me
Sorry, not first round.
let me ask you a couple more questions, and we'll let you go get dinner. What's been your greatest memory of your drag racing career?
Wow, I don't know. Greatest memory. Denver, what year was that? 2004. So Denver was the first national event I ever went to. And in Denver 2004, we qualified at our first race that we'd even showed up for. And then we went to the semi-finals in Denver. And that was just a very special moment. That was that whole race. Then I had a crew that'd never been to a national event before, and but we didn't have anywhere near the parts to do that. We were putting the heads back on, we're putting the pistons back in it, just to keep, because we kept going rounds. And amazing weekend.
All right, so now if people want to find out what's going on with the Schwab funny car, what would the best way be? The Facebook page you have for the funny car?
The Schwab Funny Car Facebook is the best way to follow us. There is a website as well if you want some more detailed information. But for updates during the race and to talk to us, the Schwab Funny Car page would be a great. I'd love to see everybody following that.
Yeah, so everybody listening in, go to the Schwab Funny Car page, give it a like, and you can find out what's going on with Robert and the funny car. So, well, Robert, thanks very much for taking time to do the interview today.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure. And if you get time, well, maybe we can chat over the weekend. Like maybe on Saturday night after we qualify. We want to qualify like 14th or 15th is our goal. And I'm just a bit hit and miss. Depends how much work we're going to do on the car. But feel free to reach out to me.
Yeah, we can follow up Sunday and talk about how the weekend's going for you.
Yep, that'd be good too, man.
Okay, you have a good night and enjoy your dinner.
Thank you very much.
And good luck this weekend.
Okay, mate. Thank you.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
okay, bye-bye.